You dream about becoming successful. You imagine the life you want, more money, more freedom, a healthier body, a better version of yourself. But then, you spend another hour scrolling. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, and tomorrow somehow becomes next week. If this sounds familiar, here's the strange part. You probably aren't lazy. You're stuck in a psychological trap that makes ambitious people look lazy. And once you understand how that trap works, your behavior starts making a lot more sense. Stay until the end. Because the biggest reason ambitious people never reach their goals isn't what most people think. Part 1. The war inside your head. Imagine two voices living inside your mind. One wants growth. It wants to build a business, learn new skills, exercise, create. The other voice wants something much simpler: safety, comfort, predictability. Neither voice is evil. The problem is that they want completely different things. Every difficult task comes with uncertainty. What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I'm not good enough? Your brain doesn't always care about your future success. Its first job is to protect you right now. And the easiest way to avoid emotional pain is to avoid the task completely. Suddenly, YouTube looks interesting. Your phone becomes impossible to ignore. Your room somehow needs cleaning. It feels like laziness. But underneath it is avoidance. And avoidance feels good. For a few minutes. That's where the real problem begins. Part 2. Why your brain keeps choosing distractions. Every time you escape difficult work, your brain gets rewarded. You feel relief. The uncomfortable feeling disappears. That tiny moment of comfort teaches your brain something dangerous. Avoiding worked. The next time a hard task appears, your brain remembers the shortcut, not because it's trying to ruin your life, because it's trying to repeat what felt safe. This creates a hidden cycle. You avoid. You feel better. Then guilt appears. The guilt makes the task feel even heavier, so you avoid again. The cycle becomes stronger every week. Here's the scary part. The longer you wait, the more impossible starting begins to feel. But there is another mistake that makes this cycle even worse. And almost every ambitious person makes it. Part 3. The perfection trap. Many people say, I'll start when I know enough. When everything is ready. When I feel confident. It sounds responsible, but often it's fear wearing a different mask. Because if you never begin, you never have to discover your limits. No mistakes, no embarrassment, no failure. Your plans stay perfect because they only exist inside your imagination. Think about learning to drive, or speaking another language, or creating YouTube videos. Nobody starts as an expert. The first attempt is supposed to feel awkward. That's not proof you're failing. That's proof you're learning. Success rarely begins with confidence. Confidence usually appears after repeated action, not before. If you've watched dozens of productivity videos but still haven't started, you may have fallen into another trap. Learning can become a distraction too. Watching people work isn't the same as working. Planning isn't progress. Research isn't execution. Eventually there comes a moment where the only thing left to do is begin. Part 4. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Most people believe successful people wake up feeling motivated every morning. They don't. They simply make fewer decisions. Their environment helps them. Think about this. If your phone is beside your keyboard, guess what you'll reach for first? If social media is one tap away, your brain will choose it. Not because you're weak, because your environment made distraction easier than focus. Small changes matter. Put your phone in another room. Close unnecessary tabs. Keep only one task visible. Decide exactly when you'll work. Remove choices, reduce friction. Your future self shouldn't have to negotiate every morning. Build a system that makes the right action easier than the wrong one. Because discipline grows faster inside a good environment. Part 5. The small action that changes everything. Here's something surprising. Your brain doesn't need a huge victory. It needs proof. Proof that you are someone who starts. Instead of saying, I'm going to work for 4 hours, say, I'm going to work for 5 minutes. 1 page, 1 email, 1 paragraph, 1 push-up. Tiny actions don't seem impressive, but they solve the hardest part, starting. Once you're moving, continuing becomes much easier. Momentum is powerful, not because it makes work easier, because it makes resistance smaller. And don't expect perfection. Some days you'll lose, you'll procrastinate, you'll waste time. That's normal. One bad afternoon doesn't erase months of progress. Don't turn one mistake into a new identity. Successful people aren't people who never fail. They're people who return faster. Every time you come back to the work, you strengthen a different habit. The habit of continuing. Over time, that's what changes your life. Not one giant decision, thousands of tiny ones. So, are you really lazy? Maybe, but probably not. More likely. Your brain has learned that comfort feels safer than uncertainty. The good news is that habits can be rewritten, not overnight, not with endless motivation, but with one small decision repeated again and again. Today, don't promise yourself a completely new life. Just prove that you can take one step, then another, then another. Because the people who achieve extraordinary things aren't always the most talented. They aren't always the most motivated. They're simply the ones who keep coming back. If this video changed the way you see yourself, leave a like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, what's the one small action you're going to take today? We'll see you in the next video.